Certainly so much has changed since the riders first did this in 2004. Of course, we always hoped and dreamed that the ride would be where it is now and the organization would be where it is now. I mean, our ultimate goal, and continues to be, is to always have a larger impact. And I think that we always hoped to be at the point we're at now, but I don't think that Chris or anyone else realized that how quickly we could get there.
It was still very grassroots back then. We were really assembled by just only alumni. We didn't really have a big outside volunteer base at that time. I know the alumni had even thought, are we even going to do this the second year? Are we going to help put together another team and continue Texas 4000, or is it just a one-time shot? And thank goodness they did, because now we're in our 10th year and going strong. Back then we spent a lot of time worrying about where are we going to stay and how do we 20-somethings go in and meet with business execs and try and get sponsorships so that we can lessen our costs. And so we did have a lot of logistics like that to worry about.
For I think a few years we were working on a lot of the kind of behind the scenes things, whether that's making sure we had financials and audited financials and the structure around some of that back office process. That's not the most interesting part, but important for a growing nonprofit.
So Texas 4000 at the beginning, mainly from everything that we've heard, is that it just was this group of college students that wanted to make a difference. It hadn't been done before. A lot of people didn't know if it was even going to be possible, and they basically took the impossible and made it possible. Over the years, we've changed in a lot of different ways. The amount of time that our riders are in the program before they go on the summer ride, they actually train for 18 months now, rather than just showing up the year of and doing all their training at that time. We've solidified a little bit more of our requirements on what the riders are expected to do, and then we've also created a curriculum for them from the time that they enter Texas 4000 through the very end. So we cover how to fundraise, how to be a strong fundraiser, how to talk to people about a cause, how to volunteer, and how to put other people before yourselves.
We're coming in at such a critical age when students are trying to figure out what they're going to do with the rest of their lives, most of whom have never been exposed to something like this. Either the health and fitness realm, the cancer world, the fundraising, a lot of the communications and leadership. I don't think you get that opportunity in a lot of different areas in college. So I think that we're sort of making them more well-rounded and preparing them in a lot of ways for the real world.
I think the Texas 4000 has experienced a lot of good growth, even just here in the city and on campus. And our growth is allowing more individuals who hadn't heard of us before to get involved and to know that we're a legitimate cancer-fighting force in town, and that we have been here for a decade now and we'll continue to be here as long as we're needed, and that we're serious about fighting cancer and finding a cure and continuing to raise funds and spreading our mission.
We've gotten a lot more partners and sponsors over time, which has been awesome. We have raised over $4 million in the fight against cancer. Every single team raises more than the team before. This year's team's already broken $400,000. They actually did that just recently.
Not as many people know that we donate the majority of the money that we fundraise back to organizations. And so, for example, Livestrong, the Livestrong Foundation right here in Austin, we provide support of their navigation services. MD Anderson is one of our bigger partners as well, and we've committed over $1 million to them over 7 years. So that's been a really cool partnership. UTBME is the University of Texas School of Biomedical Engineering, and that is a group that we support for the past several years. Again, it's right here in our backyard in Austin, Texas, and we're providing seed funding, we're providing research money that is not easy for them to get otherwise.
Seed funding is actually really important, especially in today's kind of tough funding environment. So what it lets you do is things that are more exploratory, things that maybe don't fall in the paradigms of traditional cancer sort of research. And these are actually the things that kind of push the field in new directions. So the seed funding we got from Texas 4000 basically let us enter kind of a new direction in our research. We were interested in how cancer cells interact with the vascular system. This project basically wouldn't have happened without the funding. It gives us an opportunity basically to do things that are kind of a little more on the edge, and which may be kind of hard to get traditional funding for.
Starting a third route seemed like the natural thing to do. Austin to Alaska, that's our formula. Wasn't a huge stretch, and I think when we kind of mapped out you know, the number of miles, we realized it's really not that far off from the other routes, and so we said, let's go for it. And you know, I think we're all excited to see in the 10-year that there's some growth happening, and growth that is comfortable and, you know, part of where we need to go as an organization.
We always dreamed that one day we would be big, and one day we would be having a large, meaningful impact, and that one day is today, that one day is now.
With the addition of the third route, we're allowing more students to be involved in Texas 4000 at one time. With our growth and adding a third route, we also want to build on that and have that momentum and keep growing, keep getting as many people involved in our process as possible, whether that be here in Austin or whether that be along our 3 routes all the way to Alaska.
And then aside from that, you know, I think there's just a lot of notoriety of Texas 4000 in the city, which is fantastic. I think Austin's been so supportive of us, but it really even expands into the towns and cities that we've been visiting for so many years now.
I'm really excited about the future. I feel like for the last several years we've been kind of building the foundation for growth.
I think one of the reasons I'm so excited about the expansion is the additional education we'll be able to provide to the communities we ride through. You know, usually it was 50 students on 2 rides, now it's 75 students on 3 of them. And the people we'll be able to impact along the way has just grown by a third. We're raising more money, we're touching more lives, and we're educating more people, bringing hope to more people, and letting them know that this is a fight that they can fight, and giving them the tools to do so.
It's been really cool to see the program develop over time and start allowing people who don't necessarily have like athletic backgrounds or experience riding bikes. I know we've always been committed to that, but as we've kind of put more processes in place, we've actually been able to deliver on that promise to people. As long as they have a passion to fight cancer, like, we have a home for them, and we are the vehicle for them to fight cancer.